Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, syukur kepada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala dengan limpah dan izinnya dapat kita semua berkumpul pada malam ini. And tonight is our Sufi guidance class with Arifillah Ustadz Hussien Bin Abdul Latiff. Pertamanya mari kita mempanjatkan doa kepada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala dapatnya memberikan kesihatan yang baik buat Arifillah Ustadz dan juga keluarga dan juga rakan-rakan. Malam ini kita dilimpahkan rahmat dan lindungannya. InsyaAllah. Amin, amin, ya rabbal alamin. So, marilah kita mulakan kelas pada malam ini, Ustaz. Dipersilakan, Ustaz.
We start with giving Fatiha to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his family, companions, and the Muslim at large. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ila hadratil Nabi Mustafa Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wa alihi wa sahbihi wa tabi'ina lahum bi ihsan ila yaumiddin thumma ila arwahi abaina mahatina ajla jadatina wa li jamil muslimina wal muslimat mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya amwat syai'un lillah lahumul fatihah. Ar-Rahman kana Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So we'll continue our lecture, Sufi Spiritual Vision 15. We have talked about the knowledge. We have talked about the secret. Now we're going to talk about the alertness. Because we have the knowledge, we can pry into the divine secret by being alert. I will explain later what I meant by that, alert. But let me explain our situation first. You see, we are Sufism, the way of the prophets. We are not Sufism, the way of the saint or the tariqat. They're two entirely different things. In actual fact, the tariqat cannot be called Sufis. They are not Sufis. We are the real Sufis. The tariqat is a system of meditation to bring you to the level of Marifatullah, achieving enlightenment or Marifatullah. You see the red bracket here, enlightenment, and then you are given the certificate, the silsila. You see, in order to be a teacher or murshid of the way of the saint or the tariqah, you must have the certificate given to you, or silsila. As you can see, the second yellow bracket, silsila. And talqin is a ceremony for the award of the certificate for the silsila. So you have to be the dervish or the intern or the dervish of the murshid. The murshid is the teacher of the way of the saint or the tariqah. You have to give oath of allegiance by heart. You must be allegiant to him. Then he gives you the meditations, maybe 10,000, 15,000, asks you to meditate or zikr. Okay? Meditate by way of the oral, by heart, and by sir. There's through your mental. And then after that, you have to wait for the opening of the enlightenment. Then when the opening comes, then you are enlightened, or you are marifat. Enlightened means marifat. And then you are given certificate because you are now equal to your teacher, the murshid. You are given certificate or silsila, where your name is added as a new murshid. And there will be a talqin, a ceremony of uh, uh, of you leaving your murshid and become a new murshid. So there's a ceremony for that situation. But you can see in the way of the saint, the marifatullah or the enlightenment is the highest point. Highest, the last part or the highest point. When you achieve that, then you are equal to your murshid. You are given a certificate or a silsila, which entitle you to be a new murshid and to accept new disciples for you to guide them. Again, I repeat, the enlightenment or the marifatullah is the highest level. Once you receive that, your murshid has to release you because you're equal level and give you a certificate acknowledging that you are a new murshid, a new teacher, a new guide. And then there is a ceremony to let you go. And then after that, you can have your own dervish or disciple to guide after you achieve marifatullah. And my dear companion, by the way of the prophets, you already achieved that level that they are working so hard to achieve. Immediately, we guided you to achieve enlightenment, the marifatullah. Immediately. And also, we have proven now to you, not to me, to you all, that many of you now are teaching whether internally or internationally from the knowledge we have given you, from the achievement of the enlightenment. Many of you have started teaching. Because how come you can teach these people and guide people to enlightenment? Because you have achieved that level. You have achieved the enlightenment, that level. So in the Sufism, the way of prophet, the enlightenment comes first. For the Sufism, not Sufism, the tariqat way, the way of the saint, the enlightenment comes last, ours first. And many of you can witness, have started teaching. Okay, we have Jafar, you have Achong there, you have Yahya, you have Azmi, and many more coming out, Luli, many more coming out, inshallah. Teaching Marifatullah. Goodness gracious. They are teaching Marifatullah. You know? So you see the level that you are is equivalent to a murshid in tariqat. And when I was in London giving a talk, remember the senior of the tariqat stood up and said, how come you can enlighten us within a few hours when we have been with our murshid 10 years, nothing? I asked them, ask your murshid, he's sitting in front of me. And the murshid said, yes, your system is faster, our system is slower. Because we want to make sure our disciple or our dervishes are all holistically clean, then we give. Right, that is their answer. And the other one, the other murshid, said that this our system very slow. What can we do? But is that is the way of the saint. We are the way of the prophets. Awaluddin Marifatullah. The first thing in religion is enlightenment. And 124,000 prophets were sent to enlighten the unbelievers' ummah. When they met their ummah, they were all unbelievers. And then turn them into a crystal, golden, precious ummah. The prophet say, the best ummah is during my time. These are people who are unbelievers. Sayyidina Abu Bakar, Umar, Osman, Ali. They say that Sayyidina Abu Bakar is a one that believed in one God. I can't remember the name of the Hanif. But Sayyidina Umar went out want to kill Rasulullah. Sayyidina Osman was unbelievers. Sayyidina Ali was Siti Khatijah and Sayyidina Ali were the earliest believers that Rasulullah converted to Islam, the earliest two-person converted to Islam. But before that, they are unbelievers. But they become the best ummah in Islam after Rasulullah enlightened them, taught them Ma'rifatullah, enlightened them. That is why Ibn Abbas said, the verse in the Quran, I created jinn and mankind to worship me, meant that I created jinn and mankind to ma'rifat about me, or ma'rifatullah, to be enlightened about me. So that's why the Sufism of the way of Prophet is awaluddin ma'rifatullah. Okay? And all of you who had been following me years and years, not months, all of you years. Only the new one maybe, but most of you are with me many years. And you be taught day in and day out on one knowledge of God. Only one subject, knowledge of God. And if that don't make you specialize, I don't know what to say. Many of you more than 10 years with me. Day in and day out, you're taught one subject, knowledge of God. That is what Sufism of the way of Prophet, the first thing in religion, to know God. We taught you that. And now many of you started to teach you. I am proud of you, alhamdulillah. May God be praised, Allah be praised for allowing you all to pass this knowledge to others. Go on, there's some more to come. Don't be afraid, come and teach. You already achieved that level of enlightenment. Okay? So I want you to understand your position. Because once you are starting to teach, you know the subject very well. Of course, many of you, I will vet your script or your lectures when you send to the committee. I'll be in the committee, and every time I check, and I'll make a comment here and there if necessary. Otherwise, if I keep quiet, that's all right, your lecture all right. And many of you, only the first or the second, first, and the others are first and second lectures I need to correct. But the early part of the lectures, the rest okay. Now, all your lectures are okay. Okay, I checked. Okay. That means you all know the subject very well. That means you have already that level of bullshit. You are. I can vouchsafe that even in the hereafter. Or stand firm in front of Allah and confirm that you have achieved that level. And I'm very proud of you. Thank you, Allah, for bringing you all up. So you have achieved that. You are the elect of God. You can teach people to achieve Ma'rifatullah. And that only the murshid of the tariqat can do. And you can do it. And many more can do it. Even the ladies can do it. I'm very proud of all your alhamdulillah. And so you see, when you have the knowledge of God, you are guided by Him. And that is why you all can arrange your lecture beautifully. Okay? That the latest lectures by you all, from Jafar, from Azmi, from Yahya, I don't need to correct. Okay? Achong also, although he's a little bit high level, but I don't need to correct very much. You all know your substance. Chong know his substance, except I have to pull him down because many people can't reach his level. I have to pull him down. Hey, go down. Don't sit too high. But you all know your substance. I hope many more will come forward to carry this burden because you are the elects. If you're in the tariqat, they call you murshid. But in the way of the Prophet, we call you the elects. And when you are the elects, you see, your mind become the fortress of divine knowledge. And all of you will agree with me. When you all want to prepare your lecture, and all of you had experienced this, we have talked, the inspiration come. And from the inspiration like mine, you see, you can arrange your lectures and there is no hiccup. You can let go the lecture smooth flowing, no problem, because you are guided, inspired, guided, and you can arrange your lecture beautifully, okay? Because your mind, and you know the inspiration come to your mind, all of you, we have discussed that, you all have seen it, and I agree. The inspiration come to mind, the outline of the lectures, and what to put into lectures, how to deliver, what are the references, all come down to you all. And that's where you arrange your lecture beautifully without me guiding you all the time. Only the first and second time, the rest, you're all right. Okay? And once your mind become the fortress of divine knowledge, for me, I call it, your mind become the madrasah, or the school, the religious school, where the religious inspiration come. Your mind become the madrasah. And there you are privy to divine secrets. So you can see behind certain words, behind certain actions, behind certain occurrences and so on, you can see the secret behind all this. Because you have reached the level, you are the elect of God who have been brought close to Him. Your mind have been cleansed. You receive divine knowledge and secrecy. Okay? You have become divine instrument. You have to agree this, right? Because every day your mind is tuning how to prepare your lecture, how to deliver your lecture every week or fortnightly. Your mind will be tuned to receive divine knowledge and secrecy. They have become divine instrument to lead people to the truth and prohibit them from committing sin and immoral acts. You are the elect of God. I want you to understand your situation, okay? And since you have been elect of God, the veil that cover your eyes has been removed. Your inner eyes are sharp. Therefore, you could see the secret, the divine secret behind all occurrences, words, action, and so on. Okay. So I just want you to be aware of this. And many of you have experienced this since you start to teach. Okay. So where do you be alert? When you read the Quran, there are a lot of hidden meaning there. In the Quran, there are power, no? The words that hide power. I'm sorry I don't have that. If I can find the key, I can be as strong as Hercules or Samson. And the Quran is Sam'on. There's also key to medicine. I don't have that. Allah didn't give me that. Otherwise, even leprosy, even cancer, leukemia, I can cure it. But you have to find the key in the Quran. What Allah given me is the key to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to reach Him in a divine way, the knowledge of God. That key I had. And I gave to all of you who have joined the Sufism that I brought, Sufism of the way of Prophet, through this one key. And all of you lecture using this one key. At the beginning, there's God, nothing was with him. And that was the key that all entered and start to teach. I don't have that. But you look at the Quran, there's a man called Asif. He moved Queen of Sheba throne from Her Highness country to Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam palace. Remove it, with just a twinkle of the eyes, he could move the throne. And the Quran say he could do that because he has knowledge from the book. Look at it. He could remove that because he had knowledge from the book. So Torah also have it, Angel also have it, and the Bible also have it, Quran also have it. But you need that key. Like I got that key at the beginning, that I can open, and we all become enlightened very fast. There's a key in the Quran, but unfortunately, I've been given only knowledge of God, the key to knowledge of God. Not in medicine, although I hope very much I could have that. I could help you people, my companion. I don't. But it's in the book. So that's why you must, when you read the Quran, be alert. Maybe I can't see it because it was not given to me. But it can be open to you. When you read the Quran, be alert. Look for all this, the hidden meaning. And among that, there are so many keys. Okay, so many keys to find. But of course, it's up to Allah to give to whom. Okay, so when you read the Quran, yes, look at the meaning behind it. Or you read the As-Sunnah. As-Sunnah means the tradition of the prophets. Okay, but it meant more so his conduct, his behavior, whatnot. But the As-Sunnah, look what the prophet is saying. Look at the words of the prophet. You see, at the beginning, there is Allah, nothing was read. That is the word of the prophet. And the key was there. So be careful when you read the tradition, the hadith. Be alert of the hidden meaning. Who knows what you will find? But please, if you can, when you find all this, share. Like I share. I'm not, because this knowledge belongs to God, not to me. So I share with you all, and you all can now teach like me. I have no problem. Okay? So you share. You got the medicine, you got the power, the key to that. Share. Okay? Then also look at the current affairs. Study it and see what you can see the divine secret with regard to the current affairs, like the problem Ukraine, the problem with NATO, Germany, European countries, China, Russia, Crimea. Look at the situation with regard to BRIC, setting up a BRIC, B-R-I-C. Look into that. Look into the great changes in Saudi Arabia by Muhammad bin Salman. The great changes that even now, if you want to go to do your Umrah, there are a lot of new rulings, Okay. So it's not like before, it's different. And many of those who go against the new ruling will be jailed. Okay. So watch, where is it going? What is behind the divine secret? Because these are all under the Lawh Mahfuz, the grand plan of Allah. And it's already been completed, it's moving. So you can study it. But many people study about the way the share going. So they know which will be profitable, what not, for investment purpose. Many people study different things. But we, the elect of God, we study what God will be doing in the future to the world. That we have to be careful. We learn and we share. Okay. So when you see the current affairs, watch. And many times you can ask Mr. Nasiru and Marhama, who were with me for many, many years. Every time we say something about the current affair that this thing will happen, 1 or 2 weeks later, it will confirm. It will come out in the press. Happen. Many a time we could see and we talk it first. It happened. Because we are alert. So you have to be alert of the current affairs and others too. Other thing you have to alert. Sometimes the word of a child triggers something. Sometimes the word of the unbelievers triggers something. Some great knowledge open up to you, although they can't see, but you see. So being an elect, you are sharp. Your inner eyes are sharp. You have to be alert. Okay? And first thing is the Al-Quran. I can show you the Al-Quran. There are many hidden meaning there. And when you read the Quran, beware. Because you see, by the Quran full of wisdom, and God is not just saying, that Quran is full of wisdom. It's not just gainsaying the truth. This is the book about which there is no doubt, a guidance. There's a guidance. Okay? For those conscious of Allah. Conscious of Allah. You are the elects. You're the conscious of Allah. Quran is guidance and mercy and good news to those who devote themselves to God. You are the elects. You are the instrument, divine instrument devoted to Allah. We have made the Quran a light, something to show you a way, a light, wherewith we guide such of our servant as we will. So you are the elects. You are guided by Allah. Be watchful. You gain more. Okay? This Quran is enlightenment for mankind and guidance and mercy for people who are endowed with inner certainty. You have the certainty of knowledge, certainty of vision. Okay? So be alert. Thus, indeed, we have propounded unto men all kinds of parables and this Quran, so that they may bethink themselves. So when you see the parable, story, whatnot, think behind it. What the divine secret behind it. Be alert. Okay? By the book that makes things clear. You see, once you see the hidden meaning, many things will clear up to you that you last time was not fully aware, become fully aware of that situation now. And that what Jesus say, beware that you take the sense and not the bare words. So don't read the Quran for the sake of reading. Don't look at the Quran for the literal meaning. Look at the Quran to the hidden meaning. That's why Jesus said, don't look at the words, look at the sense of the word. Okay? And here also, Jesus said, you are in error, O Matthew, and many have so error. Okay? Not knowing the sense of the word. You don't know the sense of the word. You read the word, but you don't know the meaning behind it. Then you are in error. For men ought to consider not the outward form of the words, the sense behind it. Okay? So you see the Quran, even the scientists, they were alert of this. And therefore they learn a lot from the Quran. You can see from here. These are scientists, you can see the saying, I hope Yasin can help me here. Yasin,
Ya Ustadz, kenapa?
I want to open this one. Mau buka ini.
Video Ustadz.
Ah,
Video kan?
okay. View. There is show, edit, open, and the other one is what? Convert.
Open Ustadz.
Open. It's not moving. Show also not moving.
Coba saya remote sebentar.
Yeah, okay. But meanwhile, Yasin is doing that. We see this one. Dr. William Hayes, well-known marine scientist, professor of geological sciences at University of Colorado, USA, formerly Dean of Rosenthal School of Marine and Atmospheric Science at the University of Miami. You see, I find it very interesting that this sort of information is in the ancient scriptures of the Holy Quran. You see that. This sort of information, so they are secret, divine secret in the Quran. I have no way of knowing where they would come from, but I think it is extremely interesting that they are there. The secret is there, the divine, and that this work is going on to discover it, the meaning of some of the passages. See, some of the passages have inner meaning. Okay, when he asked about the source, he said definitely this is from God, divine secret. He acknowledged there's sort of information in the ancient scriptures that he have no way of knowing it, where this come from, and here he believed, yes, this from God. There is inner meaning, sort of information in the ancient scriptures. Dr. William Hayes. Then we look at this Dr. E. Marshall, professor at this Thomas Jefferson University. And what he say? The Quran describes not only the development of the external form, but emphasizes also the internal stages, the stages inside the embryo of its creation and development, and emphasizing major events recognized by contemporary science. These are the information in the Quran. Only now they know, and that because they are alert. Now we learn by contemporary science. Contemporary means today, to date, the science to date. Only realize this because they are alert. That's why now they found it before no. Okay. So, and of course they believe that this must be from God. He says, I see nothing here in conflict with the concept that divine intervention was involved. There's a divine secret there. And we look at this, Yasin, if ready, tell me. You see Prophet Alfred Kroner, and he's with the Johannes Gutenberg University, Germany. Thinking about many of these questions and thinking where Muhammad come from, he was after all a Bedouin, you know. I think it's impossible that he could have known about things like the common origin of the universe. Hey, even the origin of the universe is in the Quran. And because they are alert, they found it. But what happened to our Islamic scholars, man? What happened to our Islamic scholars? These are non-Muslim who found the divine secret. And therefore, you can see later, how many percent is our scientists? So many Nobel Prize winners. Muslim only 2. And one is Ahmadiyya, that is the Qadiani professor. Only one is a Muslim one. Okay. Then we go again.
Maaf Ustaz.
Ya, bisa ya. Saya itu hari test okey, ini tak boleh pula. Dia suruh buka, dia ada package presentation, show, tapi dia tak jalan. Itu hari boleh. Ya. Memang. Because it's not, I can go through this one. Professor Keith Moore, right? And he was from University of Toronto, Canada. He worked at King Abdul Latiff University. It has been my great pleasure for me to help clarify statement in the Quran. He a non-Muslim. He say, I can clarify the statement in the Quran about human development, because he's alerted to this. It is clear to me that this statement must have from God. But these people see, hey, these are big words, man. Cannot be from Muhammad. There's big words, only scientists or science now know the meaning of it now. But how did they know? Because they were alert. But what happened to the Muslim scholars, man? Okay. And what he say? Because most of this knowledge was not discovered until many centuries later, discovered by non-Muslim. Goodness gracious. And Dr. Joe Late of Simpson, he's from University of Tennessee. Let's see, he says what? He said, in study of the two saying of the prophet, the tradition, extensively, nothing that first 40 days constitute a clearly distinguishable stage of embryogenesis. Was particularly impressed by absolute precision and accuracy of the saying of the prophet tradition. Correct, you know, about the component of creation. The prophet saying was correct, you see, precise. It follows, I think, that not only there is no conflict between genetics and religion, but in fact, religion can guide science. The religion can guide science by adding revelation to some of the traditional scientific approaches. And there exists statement in the Quran shown centuries later to be valid with support the knowledge in the Quran having been derived by God. So be alert. There are big words in the Quran that you can find, which being the elect of God, you can see the inner meaning. And Dr. Yoshihide Ozai, Tokyo University, I'm very much impressed by finding true astronomical facts in the Quran. It's there. What is a book from God? It's not a fable, story books or what. It's the truth. And for us, the modern astronomers have been studying very small pieces of the universe at this through telescope. But in the Quran, there are plenty more. We have concentrated our effort for understanding of a very small part of the universe, but by using telescope. We can see only a few parts of the sky without thinking about the whole universe. But by reading the Quran and by answering the question, I think I can find my future way for investigation of the universe. Through the Quran, he learned plenty more instead of the telescope. You see the plenty hidden meaning in the Quran. That's why Allah says the Quran is for all times. Okay. And Professor Telajat Teja Sen, Chiang Mai University, Chiang Mai, Thailand. During the last 3 years, I became interested in the Quran. From my study, non-Muslim, non-Muslim study the Quran, non-Muslim. From my study and what I've learned from this conference, I believe that everything has been recorded in the Quran 1400 years ago must be the proof, must be the truth, and it can be proved by scientific means. Okay? Since Prophet Muhammad cannot relay the truth which was revealed to him as an enlightenment by the one who's eligible as the creator. This creator must be God. And then he said, now is the right time for me to become Muslim. So he took the Shahada, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Okay? He took the Shahada, this professor at the conference. He acknowledged the divine secrecies or divine secrets behind many words in the Quran. I believe without doubt this is a book from Allah, and he became a Muslim then at the conference. Maurice Bucaille, again University of Paris. Our knowledge of this discipline is such that it is impossible to explain how a text produced at the time of the Quran could have contained ideas that have only been discovered in modern time. I'm telling you, the Quran has a lot of ideas that is perfect. We have to really scrutinize the word, find the hidden meaning, find the secrets, the divine secret that will be open to us. You have to work hard. And scientists, you see, they found the secrets of the contemporary science. That Quran could have contained ideas that have only been discovered in modern times. The above observation make the hypothesis advanced by those who see Muhammad as author of the Quran not possible. That Muhammad wrote it. How could a man from being illiterate become the most important author in terms of literary merit in the whole of Arabic literature? It cannot be from Muhammad. How could he then pronounce the truth of a scientific nature that no other human being could possibly develop at that time of the prophet? They don't know. All this without once making the slightest error in his pronouncements on the subject. Okay. So when you read the Quran, please read the Quran, read the, no need the Arab, read the meaning in English or in Malay, read it and ponder what behind these words. Hopefully you find the key to many things there. Okay? And that the scientists, and some of these are the sciences, not, I can't give you all, but I give you some for you to see that they are already the sciences, for the present sciences already found in the Quran. The first, the future, we see the future, time and space travel. Look, even this I've been talking many years, but you can't hear any of the Muslim scholar, especially for the Sharia side, talking about this. Look at this. This is about Zulkarnain. They say it's Alexander the Great. Zulkarnain. You see, one way he followed, one way he followed, and then he reached a certain place where the sun set in spring of murky water. And definitely that's not the earth. There is another planet. But many of Muslim scholars, the old and the present, say, hey, it's in this world. It's in this world. In this world where our sun set in a murky water. No, it's different planet. Near it, he found a people. Surely if a human being, it cannot be a different people. But it's a different people who say, oh, Zulkarnain, thou hast authority either to punish them, or Allah said, oh, Zulkarnain, you can punish them or you can treat them with kindness. What I'm trying to say, that one way, this worm's hole, It's already there in the Quran, worm's hole, 1,400 years ago, stated Zulkarnain through this way, reach a certain planet where the inhabitant stay there, they can see the sun set in the spring of murky water. It's another planet. Therefore, space travel is there. Space travel is there. How? Worm's hole. Through the worm's hole. Okay? So, you see, you look at this, you learn there's a worm's hole. You look at there's another planet. Number 3, there are people on the planet. Now you think again, who are these people on the planet? Cannot be human being. We are in this earth. Who are there up there? And you remember Rasulullah say, the satanic population up there, 9 of them, 1 of us. So these are the satanic groups or people who are banished from heaven, and they occupy the planet up there. Many of them. Rasulullah said 9-1 the ratio. So you can see there's a worm's hole in there. There's a space travel to 3. They are occupants on this planet. Number 4, and these are the satanic people, the Satan's people, Satan descendant of staying there. Satan also are from fire. Fire need oxygen. If they can live onto the planet, therefore there is oxygen. And therefore, when we're going to travel in space in future, when we land onto this space or this planet, we don't need to use mask anymore of oxygen. There's already oxygen inside the atmosphere of that planet, like this earth. Inside the atmosphere of the earth, there's oxygen for all of us. So once you enter the atmosphere of the earth, to enter into that planet atmosphere, there's oxygen. We can survive. As Zulkarnain is a human being, he can survive. So can we? And he traveled without a mask. Oxygen, how? Worm's hole. Remember, worm's hole. So in the Quran, space travel, worm's hole, inhabitant of the world, new world. And that's why now we have scientists found out there are more than 5,000 exoplanets. Exoplanet means planets like Earth. More than 5,000 of them. Okay? And this is where we can stay. In future, we'll go up and occupy. Then Zulkarnain followed another way, another worm's hole. There are many worm's holes. Another worm's hole. Until he reached a planet where the people cannot avoid the sunshine, the shining of the sun. And maybe there are more than one sun, I don't know. But it says, until when he came to rising of the sun, he found it that it rising on a people for whom we had provided no covering protection against the sun. So there's another planet where the sun shines all the time. People can't escape. Okay? But people, you see, Allah said, people, there is occupants. There will be oxygen. If there is oxygen, there will be plantation like the earth, metamorphosis, all that. There's sun. So that a habitable earth up there. Then he followed another way, another worm's hole, and reached another planet. And there he found the place of Gog Magog. And the old scholars say, Gog Magog is in this world. They must be crazy. And they were looking for the bridge, the fence that Zulkarnain built in this world. They can't find it. It's not in this world. It's up there. He followed another worm's hole, and then he reached another planet, and there he met people who asked, "Oh, Zulkarnain, help us against Gog Magog." Okay, so Gog Magog do great mischief on earth. Okay, and then render the tribute, that thou mightst erect a barrier. That's a barrier and do great mischief on earth. So there is another earth up there. And Zulkarnain built this barrier. And the scholars, all scholars, Islamic scholars, looking for the barrier in this world. No, it's up there. Again, time travel, space travel, wormhole, all there. But they don't see it. And yet the scientists now, the contemporary scientists now, agreed that it is possible for the prophet to have ascension to heaven without mask on and so on, and so on, because they believe the prophet have gone through the wormhole. That's why he can go up to the limit of the low mahfuz, because there's a wormhole there. And mind you, how did Saturn know a lot of this wormhole? Because remember, Saturn was part of the angel until they got kicked out of the group and out of heaven. Before they were part of the angels' populations, their community. So they knew a lot of the wormhole. That's why they can travel very fast to the first heaven, listening to what the angel talking, the divine instruction coming down from Suratul Muntaha, and they got thrown with brimstone and fire and lightning. Then they can travel to the earth, our earth, that fast. They can go many places where they know the wormhole. Okay, we will later on discover this, inshallah. Okay. So, see, if you are alert, you can see this is the wormhole, where you see the time is bent like a U shape. Otherwise, you straight like that is very long, but it's bent, and then there is a wormhole that you can go from here to here. There's a passage here, and that's we call the wormhole. See? Oh, I can't move also. Okay, never mind. So you enter here, we come out there very fast. Wormhole. And you read articles, you found people in the world also had experience entering wormhole and come out at a different place very fast. Like they want to go from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur. It may take 5 hours. Suddenly when they travel, they reach within 1 hour. They got shocked. Yeah, how come 1 hour they reach Kuala Lumpur, man? Where did I drive? So that's the wormhole. But we didn't know. We know, oh my God, we can travel very fast everywhere. We can go Singapore and Kuala Lumpur, half an hour, eat roti prata, come back home, back to Singapore. Wormhole. You don't know. Okay. So you read also this word, I created the jinn and humankind only that they might worship me. You read this one. And you think you can connect it. Okay, we got this point. Oh Allah, we got this point. You created jinn and mankind to worship you. Okay, we got the point. But what the secret? What are the secrets behind this word? I created jinn and mankind to worship me. What are the secrets behind this? Look closely. And this is a trust that given. Given to the heaven, they refuse. Given to the earth, they refuse. Given to the mountain, they refuse. But man undertook it. Why? Because man is the Khalifah. Yeah. Behold, thy Lord said to the angel, I'll create a vicegerent. I don't know how to pronounce vicegerent or Khalifah on the earth. We accepted this because we are appointed as the Khalifah. The mountain don't want. The sky doesn't want. The mountain doesn't want. The earth doesn't want. We took it. And what is it? Because of this word, I created jinn and mankind to worship me. Why we worship him? Because remember, the prophet say the population of Saturn up there is 9 against us 1. And they are all unbelievers. They do not worship Allah. When Allah say, I make jinn and mankind to worship me. One day with the Imam Mahdi down, the world will become Muslim world. What about them? Who will bring them back to fold? There's no more prophet. The last is the Prophet Muhammad. Who will bring them back? Yes, we have been appointed the vicegerent or the Khalifah. Okay, that is our job. Awaluddin Ma'rifatullah. We have to bring them back to fold, to worship Allah. Because Allah created mankind and jinn to worship him. Mankind with the Mahdi coming down, the world become Muslim world, left them up there. It's our job. Go through by the wormhole and whatnot. Conquer them. That's where Allah say, yeah, and fight them until persecution is no more and religion is for Allah. And if they cease, then lo, Allah is sure of what they do. Allah can see what they do. So fight them. Not fight ourselves in the world. No, fight the Satan population up there. And fight them until persecution is no more and religion is for Allah. Okay? For our mankind, no problem, because now we reach the level of intellects that through intellectual discourses, many will come back to the fold. But the Satan up there, you can't discuss with them. Allah said they are like animals, blind, deaf, you know. So you have to go through love. That's why when you reach when you become elect of God, what you find your heart will be love. Allah will still love inside it. That's where we can reach them. But before that, we have to fight them, conquer them, and they become part of our community and worship Allah. And don't you be doubting about this, because look at Africans. They were slaves when brought to America. And now they are part of the American society and also become president of the white country, America. Same, the Saturn population up there. When we conquered them, they will be assimilated with us, be part of our society. They will become part of us together. Okay. So then Allah commandment, I created jinn and mankind to worship me, is true. Allah is not gainsaying what Allah said is the truth, because it's most knowing, most wise. So for that certain word we can understand. And then also that is for the future. And the Quran also talk about the wealth. And goodness gracious, there are many up there, richness. Recently they found planet with diamonds. Look, we stay there, diamond. All the finger got diamond. The woman, even the ears got diamond. Right? And even put on the nose diamond. Not enough, the teeth, diamond. Teeth. Diamond. It's a planet full of diamond. Recently they found, I didn't put in here in the lecture, but it's there. Okay? By the sky with numerous paths, let them try to ascend, go up. Allah said, go up by whatever means you can go up. Because why? In heaven is your sustenance. Up there is your sustenance. Look again, heaven is not paradise. Heaven are the seventh heaven, the seventh heaven. Heaven 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the Suratul Muntaha. That is not paradise. Paradise, something beyond our imagination. But these are heaven where you have the Garden of Eden and so on. So the 7 heavens have a lot, or even our universe, our own universe. Don't talk about 7 heavens. Our own universe too have a lot of richness in that. So in heaven is your sustenance. It is He who shows you His wonders and sound down sustenance from the sky, from our universe. So there are a lot of richness there. Okay, and you can see there are water, hydraulic, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, ammonia, and so on and so on. But I will tell you, on the moon, they have this good soil, and it's very important for development. That's why China, Russia, America good earth, trying to mine that. Very important. In Malaysia, they had it a lot of controversy about that good earth, but China. And they found the gold, they found this diamond, and so on. So that's why so many of these countries sending their rockets up there, because they knew that once they can conquer the travel, right, they can exploit this richness. And you think back in the 16th, 15th centuries, where the European traveled to Asia and Southeast Asia and conquered the lands full of richness, gold, diamonds, silvers, spices, whatnot, and become their colony, and they become very rich. England, America, Europe become very rich. Portuguese, Spain, whatnot, become rich because they colonize. So the same thing, those who can master the art of travel to the space in time, they can get themselves to certain planet that will have a lot of minerals and whatnot. And we can see this true because in the tradition it says, Jesus, when he come down, he will abolish zakat, that means teeth, the zakat. Abolish. Why? Because mankind, including the satanic population who become part of mankind, become very rich. They don't need any more zakat. We see about that. Here they say, he, Jesus, will abolish teeth, zakat, and alms, sedekah. They abolish because there will be abundance of wealth. So when you read this, connect the word, connect the verses, you can see clearly the wealth of that. And you can see once this pandemic over, why this pandemic, why are these diseases attacking us as a whole? Because these are diseases come from the sky. N1, H1N1, SARS, bird flu, and many more. These are the diseases that God wants us to overcome it before we go conquer the universe. So up there, these diseases are rampant. You have to learn it here to overcome them. And you go up, and you have to overcome the tsunami. Our Earth is small. You have Neptune, another bigger size Earth, bigger than us. And the tsunami will be greater. Earthquake will be greater. So learn. It's not that God gives you earthquake and tsunami here just for fun point. No, learn. You go up there. The tsunami will be greater. The earthquake will be greater. The typhoon will be greater. But once you circumvent them here, you subdue them here, there's no problem when we go up. And Allah promised that I make all in heaven and earth subdue to us, subservient to us. But we have to learn. That's why Michio Kaku, our famous scientist, say, behind the tsunami, behind the earthquake, there are great power. If we can harness the power, there will be no problem of power supply in the world. There we have to learn. Okay. So again, subjugating the universe from the Quran say, look, he caused to be subservient and to you whatever in the heaven and whatever in earth. So tsunami will stoop down on us, will bow down to us. Earthquake to like the ocean. Ocean now you can see tankers. The width of it is like a 4 football field, with cargoes, whatnot heavy. all ions, and they can travel to the sea, the tankers. We have subdued the ocean. We have subdued the earth. People can climb up the earth now without rope with their hand. Even women can climb up without rope with their hand. And we have conquered the animal. We put them in the zoo. And we have conquered the air. Now people can jump from the plane without a parachute. They use the squirrel clothes, squirrel uniform, and they float. You know? And they show experience. They landed on sponge. Landed on sponge. Then we have the turbine to capture the wind. We have this what you call this, the glass that captured the heat from the sun. You know, all this coming out in the future. You know? Many more to come. Because Allah promised, I will make everything on earth and in heaven subdue to you or subservient to you. Here again. By His command, He has made the night and day, the sun, the moon, and stars subservient to you. And this is exactly what Michio Kaku said. There are 3 civilizations. The third civilization, we will harness the what you call it, the outer space for our power. We see that. So Allah has commanded night, day, sun, moon, and stars subservient to you. In this world, we use fossil powers. Up there where we have fossil power, we don't have. But we can use other means. We can see later. You see the first civilization, you see? Type 1 civilization is from Michio Kaku. Type 1 civilization has already colonized most of its solar system. By contrast, milestones in today's development of space travel are painfully measured on the scale of decades. I mean, still far away for us to really utilize the power up in the space. And therefore, qualitative leap-size space colonization must be measured in centuries. I mean, in centuries can we colonize the space. For example, the earliest date for NASA landing in planet will be 2020. Therefore, the colonization of Mars may take 40 to 50 years. After that, and the colonization of the solar system within a century. Solar system we're going to colonize. Then this see, by contrast, the transition from type 1 to type 2 civilization may take only 1,000 years. So after the first civilization, second civilization, given the exponential growth of civilization, we expect within 1,000 years, the energy needs of civilization will be so large that we must mine the sun. We're going to get our energy from the sun for the second civilization, second part of our civilization. And okay, so the second civilization. This civilization has just begun to master the gravitational force. That is the art of warping space-time via holes. This is a wormhole, and hence for the first time has the capability of reaching nearby stars. Small colonies have been established in some of these systems, which enable the Starship Enterprise to protect them. Okay? So these are coming up in the second civilization. We have the Starship Enterprise, and we have civilization here and there, second civilization. And the civilization Starship are empowered by collision of matters and antimatters. You will see later what is it. The ability to create concentration of antimatter suitable for space travel places the civilization many centuries to a million way from ours. There are many more years to come. And the third one option open to a type 3 civilization, harnessing the power of supernova or black hole. Black hole, but can we do it? Allah says, yes. I'll make everything in heaven and earth subdue to you. Yes. Okay. The center of a galaxy may contain millions of black holes. Yes. If true, this would provide virtually unlimited amount of energies. Can we harness black hole? Yes, Allah says, I will make what in heaven, in earth, subservient to you. Allah promised, it's there. Okay, take it, it's there. Okay. At this point, manipulating energies 1 million billion times larger than present-day energy should be possible. The third civilization. That's for type 3 civilization with the energy output of uncountable star system and perhaps the galactic nucleus of its disposal. The mastery of the 10th dimension become a real possibility. We are going up there. We're going to conquer the outer space. There's no two ways about it. And we'll bring back Saturn to fall, worship Allah. It's there. We're going up there. There are oxygen. There are richness there. So far, we found the wealth up there, and we will not be worried about the cost of space travel. Abundant wealth up there. Here, of course, one Iranian woman followed the space travel program. I think she paid over $20 million to participate. You know, but in future, the wealth is so abundant, we don't have to worry about wealth. We keep on opening up civilization after another and harnessing whatever comes our way. Okay? So, you see, the secret is there. The words, I will make what in heaven and earth subservient to you. It back up what the scientists have in mind. Back them up. But we can see our scholars quiet, Islamic scholars. Okay? The present. Even the present, only the non-Muslim scholars or scientists found them, not the Muslim. You see, can hear? They thought was whether the baby is boy or girl depend on the mother's sperm. We can say sperm, mother egg or mother sperm. But no, the Quran says no, it's from the fathers. And then the scientists, oh yes, it's from the father, you can see. And the semen from the father, there are sperm that include either X or Y. But the mother only got X. The father got X and Y. Why? Therefore, the sex of the baby depends on whether the sperm fertilizing the egg contains an X or Y. If an X, then baby girl, I think. Y will be baby boy. But this X and Y are found in the semen of the father, not the mother. Okay? Okay? So it's not the mother egg that pinpoint whether a girl or boy, is the father's sperm. Whether that sperm contains X or Y. If X and X, female. X and Y then become male. Okay. So this knowledge, which could not have been known at the time when the Quran was revealed, It's evident that the Quran is the word of God. It's there, but not our scientists found it. The non-Muslim scientists found it. Okay, and then this one. Glory be to him who created all the pairs. So everything in pairs, everything. And that's what we talked about now. Every particle is antiparticle and opposite charge. Okay. And the uncertainty relation tells the pair and relation happen in the vacuum of time all the time. And that's why just we should talk about the space travel. They got antimatters and non-antimatters. They will create energy. And this is what they are talking about in pairs. So you see here, everything in pairs. And not only that, there you see the positive and the negative. Okay. There you see the battery, positive and negative. It create energy. But found out in the Quran by non-Muslim. Look again here. This about the the mother's milk. Okay, that the mother's milk is good because the substance that increases its resistance to disease, the baby resistant to disease, and this discovered by science only very recently. You see, again. Because they are alert in the Quran, they found it. The Quran. That's why I've been telling you when you read, look behind the sense, not the words. Look behind the word. Look for the sense. It's a baby milk. And here, was he not once a drop of ejected semen? He made his progeny from an extract of discarded fluid. We created man from mingled drop to test him. And you see here, as we have seen, the Quran informs us that man is made not from entire semen, but only part of it. That the particular emphasis in the statement announces a fact only discovered by modern science. Who found it? Modern science, not Islamic scholars. Modern science by non-Muslim scientists. Very sad indeed. But we are the elect Sufis. Please, when read Quran, look at the sense of it, not the words. Look at the sense of the word. Perhaps a lot more secret will be open to you, inshallah. And we look here again. What happened to Islam and science? We see what happened. Why are our scientists like that? You see here. Nothing in Europe in the early 16th century, nothing. A professor of history, Jamil Raghib, professor of the history of science at the University of Oklahoma, that nothing in Europe could hold a candle to what was going on in the Islamic world until about 1600. Before that, we are the golden age of education, literacy very high. We are good in algebra, algorithm, alchemy, alcohol, alkali, nadr, zenith, coffee, lemon. These were all derived from Arabic, reflecting Islam's contribution to the West. These are from Islam. We are all the scientists there. You see our scientists there. Astronomy, okay. The most precise solar calendar superior to Julian is the Jalali device under supervision of Umar Khayyam. You see, precise solar calendar. Okay, these references, injunction learned, inspired the early Muslim scholars to study the heaven, because the revelation, he created night and day, and the sun and moon, all heavenly bodies in an orbit swimming. That, when they look closer, they moved them to learn more and inspired the early Muslim scholars to study heaven. And as such, they make a precise solar calendar. Okay. And then many new stars were discovered and so on. Okay. Muslim astronomers were the first to establish observatories, that the one built at Mughara by Hulagu, the son of Genghis Khan in Persia. They invented instruments as quadrant astrolabe, which led to advances not only in astronomy, but ocean navigation. That is before the 16th centuries, you know, before the 16th centuries. And then we have again, we are good in geography. Okay, you can read that. Okay, we are good in geographies. The Quran encouraged people to travel throughout the earth, see God's sign. And then in Islam, we are also good in humanity also. Okay. Then we are good in mathematics. Muslim scholars, mathematics, first great Muslim mathematician Al-Khwarizmi and so on. And then we are good in medicine. Ibn Sina became Avicenna in the world. And Ibn Sina book became the mother book of medicine in US. You know. It's the mother of the book, a medical book in Europe. Okay. Remain a standard textbook even in Europe, Avicenna or Ibn Sina one. Okay. But what happened after 16th century? Right? Let's see. So they close the gate of Ijtihad. Ijtihad means where you ponder, you think what will come, and you think, you ponder to find out answer. They stop that. They close the door, no longer necessary. What you to find, you must find in the 4 books of the Imam, Shafi'i, Hanafi, Maliki, Hanbali. Look into this book. No more outside. Okay, one need only to read legal decrees of these 4 books. thinkers who resisted, they want to go for sciences. No, those who resisted, the closing came to be seen as nefarious dissidents. So Ibn Rushd or Averroes, for example, banished for heresy, and his book were burned. And these are famous Ibn Rushd or Averroes, famous in what you call this psychology and whatnot. Because he doesn't want to follow the 4 books. They call him heretic and burn his life. There are many more treated badly. Many of them treated by jail, library burned, and so on. And why? The Muslim scholars were overzealous. Everything go to the book, no science. Go to the 4 books of the Imam. Find the answer there. Okay? Overprotective of taqlid, they rejected geography. Already established, rejected. In Muslim world, famous for geography, mathematics, rejected. Claiming that these are waywards, contradicted our faith. In addition, the wearing of Western attire means that you are inclined to Westerner, and which event is deemed to be one. That means unbelievers. Okay. So even the hadith, Rasulullah say, seek knowledge even to China. And these scholars say what? Seek knowledge. That knowledge is a Quran knowledge, not scientific knowledge. You see that? Knowledge in the Quran is not scientific knowledge, but religious knowledge. Okay? And that to conflict such knowledge in modern science is inaccurate and even naive. Everything must be in the book, must find in the book, not outside. That's why you see Saudi Arabia still buying armament instead of making, because not in the book. Okay. Then here again. In fact, they deny what is beyond the limit of your knowledge. Well, anything they don't understand, they say there's innovation, must be rejected. And whose explanation has not yet reached them, thus those before them refuse to believe. All these things. You see, nowadays, they got no choice. Spectacles are from the West. The trousers we use are from the West. Before you can't. Shirts are from the West. Watches. All the apparatus in the house, instrument all in the house from the West. Aircon, refrigerator. You can't do it, can't do away with them. But during that time, the 16th century, they say you're heretic. You believe in science. You believe in Western gadgets. You are heretics. They burn you. Anything new or innovation are deemed wayward, prohibited, discouraged. Even to replace the ablution areas with pipe was prohibited and deemed unholy. To read books on geography or philosophy was prohibited. Using shoe was deemed bid'ah, innovation. Any innovation to bring about progress or improvement were vigorously resisted before they were even formally started, and their organizer were deemed wayward, zindiq, wayward. Even today, we still have these people. Still today, whether in Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, even in the Asia, Middle East, still you have this. And this is what this MBS Muhammad bin Salman is fighting. He's fighting all these people, and hard job to do, but he is doing it. During the reign of Sultan Salim, the Ottoman Empire, the Mukallid, these people who are very zealous, these people following the 4 books, very zealous, rejected voraciously the use of firearms, such as rifle, pistol, and others. This is not in the book. You cannot manufacture this. Even though Western countries' army were then equipped with firearms. That's why we lost the Ottoman Empire. When the Sultan refused to follow them, they kill him. They kill him because he wanted to build firearm. And they destroyed the telephone line, so the Sultan cannot give instruction to the army. Okay. They also burned bicycle rode by the government messenger, deeming it an Iblis horse or instrument of Satan. They wanted to burn down the radio station in Riyadh because they said this place was evil, devil worshipping. But lucky somebody smart play the reading of the Quran, recitation of the Quran in the radio station, and that stopped them from burning the radio station. But they destroyed the clock tower, first built in Najd, alleging that it was a satanic instrument. Azhar University, the oldest university in the world, refused to admit female students until 1956. They relented because of the pressure put upon them by the Egyptian government. They refused to take the lady. Okay. And see, the civilization that produced cities, libraries, observatories, and opened itself to the world had now regressed and become closed, resentful, violent, hostile to discourse and innovation. Okay. They don't want to take innovation. And you see, today, however, the spirit of science in the Muslim world, as dry as the desert, Pakistani physicist Pervez Amirali Hoodboy, this guy is one of the Nobel Prize winner, laid out the grim statistic in 2007 Physics Today article. Muslim countries have 9 scientists, engineers, and technicians per 1,000 people, compared with a world average of 41. Every other's got 41, we got 9. That's how bad. But this, the work of these people, they're not happy. Okay. So when you read the Quran, please, you can read the English translation, you can read the Malay translation, it doesn't matter. But look beyond the words. You see, I show you how the link up. Okay. Look behind the words, the sense of the words, not the literal, the meaning behind the word, the sense. Even when you read the prophet tradition, look at the sense of it. That's what Jesus said. They are written in prophet many parables, many stories. Wherefore you ought not to attend to the letter, not to the word, but to the sense. So when you read the prophet tradition, look at the words, like this one. At the beginning, there is Allah and nothing else. And this really created, this really clear up the doubt about where the source of creation. It cleared up the doubt. Okay? And I have a discourse with some of our people who are conversant in Arabic, and they say the way the scholars interpret different from you. From what I describe is clear, and the word make it very sensible. Before is differently, not the same like I interpret. Even like another discourse I had, I say, you live according to the book until the day of resurrection. The old scholars say you live in the grave until resurrection. Two different things. I say you live according to the book, your predestination, your taqdir, until the resurrection. Their interpretation before was you live in the grave, your grave, until resurrection. You see? So difference there. So when you are now, you have the inner sight. Allah will waken up your inner sight. When you read the hadith or the Quran, look at the sense, the meaning behind the words. So this is why Imran will say his question is which remain complex, extremely complex and difficult. What is the relation between creators and creation? That time, this at the beginning there's Allah and nothing, that was from me. He didn't know, but he was saying, hey, it's very difficult. Man. If there's creator and there's creation and they are distinct and separate, then monotheism founder, where they are two existent at the beginning. It cannot be. But he say, or are they identical, creation and God identical, then it is pantheism. So very confused, and therefore come out the concept of wahdatul wujud and the concept of the light of Muhammad, because they didn't get that key, that at the beginning there is Allah and nothing else. They didn't see that. So when you say be, he cannot be to others but to himself, because nobody else exists. They didn't get that one. Once I got that, I saw the meaning behind it. Then everything falls to places. Very clear. And look here again. The Prophet said, Imam Mahdi is from my Genesis. He has a white forehead, pointed nose. But Imam Mahdi is his descendant. All right? Number one. He will fill this earth with justice, equality. He will govern the earth for 7 years. Imam Mahdi will govern the earth for 7 years. Correct? We look one by one. One of my descendants will be in power, and his name will be the same with mine, Muhammad bin Abdullah. So we know the first Mahdi is from the Prophet descendant. And his name is the same with the Prophet Muhammad bin Abdullah. Now, you look at this word, the word Imam Mahdi. Mahdi, Mahdi. So the first Mahdi will be from my descendant. His name is the same like me, Muhammad bin Abdullah. Now you look at that, then you realize in the future, they will not be called Khalifa. They will be called Mahdi. And there will be many more Mahdi to come. So Mahdi 1, Mahdi 2, Mahdi like Pharaoh. So many. So in future, there's no Khalifa. You don't call Khalifa anymore. You call Mahdi. I suppose the word Khalifa has been corrupted. If you look through history, been corrupted after the fourth Caliph Ali, corrupted the word Khalifa. It's not, it's taken by many unworthy persons. But so Mahdi is a different title. It's a title replaced the Khalifa. So we realize that when Rasulullah said this, the first Mahdi is from my descendant. Why he used Mahdi? Because in the future, you don't call Khalifa, you call Mahdi. So Mahdi 1, Mahdi 2, because we see there's a tradition when Jesus came down to the world and he did prayer at the Masjid al-Aqsa, there's another Mahdi there praying with him, who was governing the earth, the Mahdi, and he could combine force with Jesus. And that is the fifth phase. We on the third phase. Mahdi, in my calculation, will be coming out in the later part of the third phase. But that is the later part of the fifth phase. So there will be a lot of Mahdi to come again. So one thing very clear from this tradition, we know Mahdi is a title. It's a title, not the person name. The person name is Muhammad bin Abdullah, is the first Mahdi. So Mahdi is a title, honorific title, but it's not the name. It's a title like Khalifa. The name is Muhammad bin Abdullah. He'll be governing the earth for 7 years. Now the point is, how come it's a Mahdi? Mahdi govern 7 years. He will be a general, maybe a president, whatever. He will lead the world, earth out, we all to conquer outer space and conquer all the satanic forces up there, subdue them and so on and so on and so on. And later on, he's appointed Mahdi. After all being conquered, he was later appointed the first Mahdi. And after 7 days, he passed away. But the system already in Mahdi, there will be a next Mahdi. So he governed the earth for 7 years. That's the first Mahdi. There will be a second Mahdi. Then another tradition. I saw large number of hell dwellers are women. I saw large number of paradise dwellers are the poor. Hey, look at this again. You think, hey, what Rasulullah talking about hell dwellers, paradise dwellers? It's not the end of the world, man. No Armageddon, no resurrection, no judgment. How come Rasulullah went for night ascension of Maret and saw all this? It's not possible. Because no Armageddon, no Qiyamah, no resurrection yet, no judgment yet. So how can people in hell and paradise? There's no judgment yet. How come he see this? It's not possible. Now, you see this, what many things come from here. Number one, that Allah's grand plan, the grand plan is already completed. The 12 billion years, 6 phases completed. It's now moving. Now it's the 3rd phase. The 4th phase, 5th phase, and the 6th phase, the last. It's already moving. What Rasulullah see is the plan, the grand plan. The grand plan. Although not occurring, but the plan is there. So the plan. So are we in the plan? Then you see quantum theory say, see, we just a super hologram. That our physical reality is nothing but very elaborate marriage. A super hologram of marriage and information. A metric. According to the theory, the chair that you're sitting on, your computer, your house, your car, everything that exists around you, an illusion, mirage. And you can see here, the atom that we all consider of atom, 99.9999% empty space. That means the computer you are looking at, the chair you're sitting on, and you yourself are mostly not there. And that's what Imam Ghazali say, you know your God, you know yourself, you don't exist there. Okay? So that is one thing. So we don't exist. So what are we? And Rasulullah said, I saw, I'm looking at it. What did he see? And you see, he saw a woman in hell. Okay. On the day, I see what the Quran says, on the day we shall roll the skies as a writer roll up scroll. So are we the scrolls? Are we in a scroll? Okay. And again, Allah says in the Quran, heaven will be rolled up in its right hand. Are we a scroll? Are we a scroll, a picture? Okay. Hologram. This will be rolled up like that. When the sun is rolled up, when Armageddon, the sun also roll up. Everything is just a painting. Well, we have animation, human animation. It can be that we are the divine animation. See, you have to ponder. You have to ponder. Okay. It is possible. We are divine animation. If we are, then how can God be cruel? We are just a drawing. Animation. So he cannot be cruel. Even the World War or whatnot, just animation. How can God be cruel? Okay. If not animation, then what did Rasulullah saw? There is no Armageddon. There is no hell, heaven yet. There is no judgment. Day of judgment. What did Rasulullah see? A picture. That's why it roll up. Allah will roll it up like a scroll. Okay. How you like animation films? And there, scientists Stephen Hawking say, how do we know we are not just character in a computer generated soap opera? We are just the character in the computer, divine computer. A scientist can think that far, but not Muslim scholars. Okay. So it is Allah who has created the heaven and the earth and all between them in 6 phases. Okay, 6 phases. 6 phases. So one phase is 2,000 years, 2 billion years. 6 phases, 12 billion years. So you can see here. First phase, second phase, we are here. Third phase. Okay, we are 4.6 billion here. We are here. The third phase, 6 billion. Fourth phase, 8 billion. The fifth phase, this is where the Armageddon come in. 10 billion years, the sun dried up. Right? And then all will be annihilated, then resurrected. And this is the sixth phase, 12 billion years, 10 to 12 billion years, judgment, paradise, and hell, resurrection, all that. These are certainty of knowledge. So these are from the words, we can see that this the whole plan of Allah is already perfected, already completed, is moving Now is the third phase, coming fourth phase, the fifth phase, and the sixth phase. So what I want to give you, there are plenty more. I just don't want to put in so many more, you'll be getting boring. But you got the gist of it. Behind every word in the Quran, behind every word of the Hadith tradition, don't look at the words, look at the sense. As I got it, that behind the words, at the beginning, Allah is there, nothing else. If I could see behind it, and it open up the door to divine, uh, to achieve the divine knowledge. So every word that you read in the Quran or Hadith, please try to ponder what's the meaning behind all this. Inshallah, Allah will show you a lot more. Okay? But I wanted to put many more. It maybe take 3-4 days, but I say enough. This is enough. You got the point, then look for yourself. When you read the Quran, I read the Quran almost every day and go through it to see the meaning. As I prepare the notes, all that, looking at the meaning and finding new meaning, new understanding. It's there. Quran and Hadith also. Buy Hadith book, read, and see what you can learn. Okay? Or listen to what people say about Hadith and learn the meaning of it. They may see differently, you may see differently. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is that when you read the Quran, look at the sense of it, not the words. I stop here and will continue. Go back to Chong. Perhaps after that we can. Today I'll go for Zikrullah. Many weeks I've gone through to make you all aware of his existence. Today we go for Zikrullah. I'll back to Achong. This ended my lesson on this.
Okey, Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih Ustaz. Seterusnya kita teruskan dengan sesi zikrullah. Dipersilakan Ustaz.
Okay. So, people will say, ask how to remember Allah in your mind. First, you have to mention in your mind mentally. You say Allah in your mind. Allah, no form, no shape. No. Just say Allah and then focus the word to the remembrance. Allah, then focus to that. No form, no shape. Focus to that. When you say Allah, you put the memory there, Allah, and focus to that. Focus. Don't let anything disturb you. And then steadfast. Okay, please say in your mind, Allah. Focus to that word. Focus. No words, no spelling, just the word Allah. Focus to it. No form, no shape, no words, nothing. Just the memory. Allah. Focus to it. And steadfast. 10 minutes.
Dah 10 minutes Ustaz.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Before I go, I want to touch one issue. The issue is, how can Mahdi live 7 years and can do a lot? He didn't live 7 years. He only got the title for 7 years. Assuming like Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew, 1967, Singapore independent as an undeveloped country, 67. And he had done so much until he gave his premiership to Goh Chok Tong. He had done so much. I mean, many of the Western people marvel at his achievement in a short span of time. He can make Singapore undeveloped country become first class developed country, first class in a short while. Let assuming let's 30 years, 40 years he done that, 30, 40 years done that. Assuming after that he gave up his premiership, we make him into president. And many people wanted him to be president, he doesn't want. But let's say he accepted, he became president of Singapore. He lived for 7 years. It doesn't mean he didn't make the order already, he done it already. He passed the baton to his second man. Nothing more to even now. We are enjoying his fruit of his labor, even now. Everything in order, spick and span, everything okay, everything running well from his hard work. So assuming we make him a president, he lived for 7 years, doesn't mean that 7 years he do it. He had done it so many years. And with the advancement of technology, it can be a lot more to come. By the time Mahdi appeared, the technology is so advanced, we already have the spacecraft, everything ready. Only need someone to bring it up. He may live 40, 50 years, 60 years, I don't know. Maybe now with the science, we can live longer. Then after that, to appreciate what he had done, the order he brought about, they make him into Mahdi. Appointed him the first Mahdi, and of course, so the old, just as to acknowledge his contribution. After 7 years, already passed away. Of course, there will be a second Mahdi, third Mahdi to continue. So it doesn't mean that 7 years he do everything. Look at the concept, he become Mahdi. Okay, so Lee Kuan Yew become president for 7 years. But the hard work he done was before president. Everything now in order, spick and span, everything. So Mahdi lived 7 years after he got the recognition given to him for all the work done. So it's not that within 7 years he did that. Okay, so with that, I thank you everyone. Inshallah we meet again next week. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.